A lot of people come up to me and they're like, Donnie, what do you know about the Tyson Paul fight? I'm like, well, I know about it. I'm responsible for it. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy who made it happen. And they're like, no way. And I'm like, way. And then I wind up having to tell them the whole story, which basically is the same as how most of these things happen. You know, Mike Tyson was at my house and we were playing Magic the Gathering. And he was like, you know, Donnie, I was kind of thinking about making a big, spectacular event fight, kind of event type thing with maybe a popular YouTuber. You know, and so I pretty quickly see where this is going, you know. And I'm like, no. And he's like, what, Donnie? I'm like, it can't be me, okay? And he's like, why not? And I'm like, you don't want to get into it with me. Because, I mean, if you and I were getting into a fight, the fight might never end, first off. I mean, it could just go on forever. Because it would be like two behemoths battling it out for supremacy on Mount Olympus. People would be like, is this another hurricane? And they'd have to say, no, it's the Tyson Kruger fight. And he said to me, Donnie, I hadn't considered that. And I'm like, I know you haven't, Mike. I know. And another thing, Mike, I'm not sure that you've considered is the possibility, however small it might be, that in the course of a previously aforementioned battle royale, which I have referred to, it's conceivable, however unlikely, that you might damage my face in some small and minor way. And he's like, Donnie, I would never. I'm like, Mike, in a fight, things happen that you don't anticipate and maybe don't even plan. Tempers flare, emotions run high, you know, and something could happen. I'm not saying you would do it on purpose. I'm just saying it's possible. And I earn my living with this face. And I'm not so much concerned for myself, but there's a large 17-member population that takes solace in seeing the beauty of my visage every week. And, you know, the public outcry would be great. And I'm concerned what would happen to your legacy. Because people would be like, Mike Tyson, who's that? Oh, is that the guy that hit Don Kruger in the face? And people would have to say yes. And he's like, Donnie, I had not even thought about that. I'm like, I know, Mike. I know. But I have a possible solution. And he's like, what, Donnie? What do you suggest? And I'm like, have you considered Jake Paul? And he said, not until this moment. And I'm like, well, you know, because if you hit Jake Paul in the face, you know, who will even notice? And plus, I mean, I think the more you hit Jake Paul in the face, the more people will like you. And on a side note, you know, if something were to happen to his face to make him unwatchable in some way, I mean, I think I would probably get most of his audience because there's a lot of overlap. I mean, there's a lot of between our two perspective demographics. You know, a lot of people that are in Jake Paul would be into me as well because we have so much in common. And you know, Mike was like, well, you've given me a lot to think about, Donnie. And I'm like, I know I have, Mike. I know I have.